Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. MALLOR GRODNER Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. Alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. The governor is fast-tracking the state's reopening plan. Ahead, why he decided to move the state into Stage 4 of his reopening plan days ahead of schedule. Airlines have grounded thousands of aircraft because people aren't traveling. But even when they're sitting parked, these planes require a lot of maintenance.
Folks probably don't realize is those schedules are a fine-tuned orchestra of aircraft and people moving across the country.
Ahead, one local airline struggles to find space for their planes and keep them maintained during the pandemic. Besides recreation and flood control, Lake Monroe is the water source for thousands of local residents.
The water supply is a huge issue, particularly in the Bloomington area, and having this available supply is a great thing.
Coming up, we answer a viewer's question about the health of the lake and its viability as a long-term water source. Those stories, plus the latest news from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Well, the state saw nearly 150 fewer deaths from COVID-19 in May than it did in April. The new statistics from the State Department of Health show there were 1,037 deaths recorded in April. In May, that number dropped to 892. Overall, about 2,400 Hoosiers have died since the outbreak began in mid-March, and nearly 40,000 have tested positive for the virus. Well, bars, playgrounds, museums, zoos can start reopening now. The governor announced this week he was moving the state into Stage 4 of the Back on Track plan, a couple days ahead of schedule.
There aren't that many substantive changes if you were looking at the Back on Track plan online in terms of Stage 4. We just have moved it up. Social gatherings will go up to 250 people, up from where we were. Restaurant and dining facilities will be open to 75% of their capacity. Bars and nightclubs up to 50% of their capacity, again, while maintaining the physical or the social distancing, all those precautions still in place. Retail, stores and malls are open at full capacity.
The governor says the state can move into Stage 4 early because Indiana is continuing to see a decline in hospitalizations. ICU bed availability is stable, and so is ventilator capacity. The state has also increased its testing capacity and plans to double it in early July. More than 325,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the virus. About 12% of the tests that have been administered have come back positive. After a week of demonstrations in Bloomington and throughout the country, protesters are vowing to continue confronting police brutality. George Hale reports.
The grounds of the Monroe County Courthouse were full of protesters Tuesday night. This week, the Monroe County Sheriff said he acted on an executive order to enforce an ordinance forbidding people from being on the property from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. According to the sheriff, they left without incident and there were no arrests. That's in part because the protesters decided in advance not to resist.
While I love to see the protests go on, at the same time we have to understand that it is technically trespassing to be on this property between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So I think they've been more than lenient in that regard.
Some of the demonstrators started to camp out after thousands protested through the streets of downtown Bloomington last Friday. The demonstrators say they were protesting years of police brutality against African American men and women. Selena Drake says she hopes the conversation about ending racial injustice and police brutality isn't over, but rather is finally beginning.
We want to focus our time not on each other, but on what's the big problem, and that's our government. Our government is deteriorating, and we have to see that because at this point, it's not between black people, it's not between white people, it's not racism, it's the government, it's the system in place. What are we going to do to change that? How are we going to change that?
While protests in the courthouse square have ended, Monroe County officials say they still intend to find ways to build trust. The county council will hold a special town hall June 30th to discuss how the relationship between local law enforcement and the public can be improved. Council President Eric Spoonmore says the first thing they should do is listen.
And perhaps the most important role for the council right now is to listen, and to especially listen and learn from those who are most vulnerable in our community and so often underrepresented in these important conversations.
The announcement of the special town hall comes a week after community members spoke against the Sheriff's Department's proposal to hire 2 new deputies. Moments into that meeting, Sheriff Brad Swain withdrew the request. A week later, the proposal remains on hold. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm George Hale.
7 of the 9 members of the Bloomington Farmers Market Inclusion Subcommittee have resigned after penning a controversial letter. It meant to show their support for the protesters who marched in last week's Enough is Enough rally. As Ethan Burks reports, the letter generated a lot of criticism, and almost immediately community members began asking for the committee to be disbanded.
While thousands of people marched the streets of Bloomington last Friday to speak out against police brutality, the Broadening Inclusion Subcommittee of the Farmers Market posted a statement on Facebook about the nation's racial climate. It was in that post where several local activists noticed a line that bared racial undertones of black-on-black crime. It reads, quote, "Our hearts break for every lost, angry, and aimless young black man and woman who commit violent crimes and claim the lives of other black men, black women, and black children," unquote.
But this was just so flagrantly out there, bad in such an out there way that it was a very clear sign that the committee had failed and that it should be disbanded.
Ang says the statement took away from the true meaning of the protests by highlighting the problem of black-on-black violence. The subcommittee apologized for the post a day later.
For them to come out with a statement, it seems to kind of deny the realities of this white supremacist culture that we live in, and how can we kind of expect them to fulfill their duties that they won't even acknowledge?
The city of Bloomington also commented on the post, saying it did not edit nor endorse the statement.
It contained a lot of ideas and tropes that are widely considered to, in fact, propagate racism and not mitigate racism.
Cassandra says the public outrage was appropriate. She says the Broadening Inclusion Subcommittee was formed last November to help deal with racial incidents that have occurred in the past at the Bloomington Farmers Market. Last year, controversy erupted after news surfaced that a vendor from Schooner Creek Farm, Sarah Dye, had ties with a white supremacist group.
There are many, many issues to grapple with there and across our institutions.
Cassandra says the city's Farmers Market Advisory Council, which oversees the subcommittee, will address the matter at its scheduled meeting this Monday to decide how to move forward. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Ethan Burks.
Stay-at-home orders and bans for non-essential travel have kept people in their homes and grounded business travel. Now, while experts say there is little doubt those safeguards have saved lives, airlines are bleeding cash. As Brock Turner reports, industry experts predict it'll take years for the industry to recover.
Those who spend their time working at the Indianapolis International Airport say aircraft can be heard taking off and landing every 5 minutes or so on a normal day. But this time is far from normal.
I've got no doubts that it will be incredibly challenging for us, and probably the most difficult and challenging environment we've ever operated in.
Airport officials say traffic is down up to 95%, and they're expecting lower than normal activity for at least the next 3 years. While it's quiet in most places, one previously vacant ramp is seeing its fair share of activity. Indianapolis-based Republic Airways is parking numerous aircraft at what used to be a U.S. Postal Service ramp. Republic Senior Vice President Matt Koskell says it's far more complicated than parking a car.
It's not only to ensure that when you park an aircraft for a period of time that you're doing so in a manner that is consistent with the maintenance requirement programs for that aircraft, but it's also ensuring that wherever you're parking those aircraft, you have the availability to lift that fleet back up in an efficient manner once it is time to restore those aircraft back into service.
Republic is a regional airline. You've likely flown and not known it. They connect hubs and large destinations to smaller cities for Delta, American, and United. Thanks to the CARES Act, they haven't had to lay off employees yet, but some have reduced work schedules. With these planes on the ground instead of in the air, fewer workers are needed. An added challenge for Koskell and his team is that Republic doesn't control the booking for their partners. The airline, with its livery painted on the side of the plane, controls the booking. So all of these planes have to be ready on short notice.
When you get to a point where you're flying less than 20% of what your original schedule was, what folks probably don't realize is those schedules are a fine-tuned orchestra of aircraft and people moving across the country. And all in a manner to, keep people connected to where they need to get to, keep crews connected to where they need to get to, and ensuring that then we're capturing the aircraft at the maintenance center at the end of that day to provide the required maintenance service and cleaning for that aircraft.
Mike Succo is a professor at Purdue University and an expert in aviation. He says re-entering aircraft into service is extremely expensive.
That's where the expense comes in, so that you have it parked. You have service folks come out, mechanics, look at the airplane, fire up, turn on the systems, push the airplane, rotate the tires. But now when we're going to return it to service after it's been sitting out for 60, 90 days, now you got to do a full systems check.
He says full systems check includes starting the engines, checking fluids and flight systems, and could even require the aircraft to be put on jacks and have the landing gear retracted.
That's what takes time, because you need hangar space. You need a lot of specialized equipment to get it in position, to position the airplane so that they can be worked on. And then depending if it's a really extended long period of time, then you would actually have to do a test flight.
Today, Republic maintenance crews are checking in on the planes.
All right.
They're hoping to get a few back into the air in the coming weeks. It takes the airline 2 days and multiple employees to get one of these Embraer 170s back into the air. But the quiet here is pervasive. Birds can be heard chirping. And crews say it makes them sick. They're waiting for the day when the engines restart. But for now, these planes remain grounded. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Brock Turner.
Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. Lake Monroe has a lot of uses: flood control, recreation, and providing water for the city of Bloomington. Ahead, we answer a viewer's question about the health of the lake and whether it'll continue to be a viable water source. And the state released guidance to schools for reopening this fall, but since nothing is mandated, plans will likely look different in every school. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
The WTIU WFIU news team connects Indiana to the world. We bring you the top news of the day on radio, TV, and online. We round up the stories that have people talking each week and dig deep into the issues that affect your community the most. The WTIU WFIU news team is where you are and telling your story.
In a time of change, where can you find in-depth reporting and thoughtful analysis? Washington Week on PBS. Join moderator Robert Costa.
When I was at the Capitol this week, I encountered the same.
And a panel of award-winning journalists.
You're seeing a divided nation, and you're seeing...
For insights and perspective.
Tonight there was a key development in the Senate.
You won't find anywhere else.
What a week.
Washington Week.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Our City Limits team has received a number of questions about challenges facing Lake Monroe, particularly its viability as a long-term water source. WTIU's George Hale spoke to some of the experts working to keep its water safe for drinking as well as recreation.
Retired hydrologist Sherry Mitchell Brooker is hiking to the tip of the Amy Weingartner Brannigan Peninsula Preserve. She's a founding member of Friends of Lake Monroe. The group was awarded a grant from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management to develop a watershed plan and has contracted Indiana University to measure nutrients, sediments, and bacteria.
So nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus that are bound to the sediments, particularly phosphorus, cause enrichment of the water in a way that allows algae to grow quicker than it's supposed to.
Last summer, state officials placed 2 beaches at Lake Monroe under advisory for blue-green algae, which can threaten human and animal health. Experts are concerned once again because the reservoir experienced unusually high water levels this winter, and that can lead to more erosion, which is what we found after a mile's hike into the peninsula.
Erosion that's taking place along the shorelines, you see that's all that soil that's being lost is going into the lake. So this is typical of, some of the erosion that happens along the shoreline. That's a result of the very high water levels that occur because this is a lake that was designed for flood control and flood protection. Mm-hmm. So water level goes up from the normal pool up to, I think it's 15 feet or so above normal pool to hold back water to prevent flooding downstream.
The Army Corps of Engineers is responsible for maintaining the lake level and controlling floodwaters. Shannon Phelps is a natural resource park manager for the Corps.
It's a pretty big project compared to a lot of the other ones. We can handle a lot more floodwaters coming in. Ours doesn't jump up as fast because of it being so big.
But annual water levels are on the rise, testing the lake's limits.
2012, we had water actually flowed through our uncontrolled spillway. Prior to that, it only got close in like 2002. So in the last 10 years or so, we've experienced more flooding than we ever did before.
The Army Corps is also tasked with overseeing some of the lake's recreational activities. They are resuming as Indiana reopens amid the coronavirus outbreak. Phelps sees flooding as a bigger deterrent than COVID-19 to getting people back to the lake.
Being outside and recreating, even though they're standing down there shoulder to shoulder fishing, they don't see that as the same as going to the store and crowding into Walmart or something, I guess. So I think we're going to probably have a pretty normal year as long as we don't have water on the beaches or like high water problems.
On Memorial Day, hundreds of people flocked to beaches and other recreational areas after being cooped up for months during the closure. Peter Corney said he and his family were being cautious despite the crowds at Fairfax Beach.
Still trying to keep as far apart from other people as possible, but it is nice to come out and try and enjoy the weather on this glorious day.
Recreational areas like Fairfax are maintained by the Department of Natural Resources, which is also responsible for allocating Lake Monroe's water.
Our focus with this program is just the sale of water from the reservoir, which is a wonderful thing because certainly the water supply is a huge issue, particularly in the Bloomington area, and having this available supply is a great thing.
Mark Bash is the head of the department's Water Rights and Use section. He says the availability of water for Bloomington and others is secure for now.
Currently, there's only a little over 20% of the available supply, the safe yield of the reservoir that is spoken for, and the majority of that is actually by the city of Bloomington.
In addition to the city of Bloomington, the DNR has contracts or is in the final stages of signing agreements with 3 other customers: the Indianapolis Power and Light Company, Salt Creek Services, and Eagle Point Golf Resort.
We look at the availability of water from the lake, and certainly city of Bloomington being the main user, at least in the current contracts that we have with there on the lake. So, they're certainly concerned about the water quality.
Back on the peninsula, Sherry Mitchell Brooker says protecting water quality is not one agency's or department's responsibility. It's everyone's. And making sure we protect the land around the lake is a big part of that.
So every small part of pollution, what you're doing in your yard, what you're doing on your farm, what you're doing in your forest, those all add up to contribute to pollution in the lake.
Detailed reports on Bloomington's water quality are published annually. They're available at the city's website. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm George Hale.
If you have a question you'd like one of our reporters to try and answer, you can submit it through our website. The address is wtiu.org/citylimits. School leaders and educators are still figuring out what the state's latest guidance on how to reopen buildings means for them. Many worry about how to pay for some of the changes and whether or not all of them will be needed or possible in different parts of the state. Our education reporter, Jeannie Lindsay, attended a webinar with the state schools chief this week. And Jeannie, you've reported that she said a lot of decisions will be left to local health departments. Can you tell us how that's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. So the state has released this guidance, recommendations for schools to follow, but Superintendent of Public Instruction Jennifer McCormick, Governor Eric Holcomb, and State Health Commissioner Chris Box have all really stressed that it's going to be a community decision. School boards, superintendents need to work with their local health authorities because ultimately those local health authorities have a pretty big say on whether schools will be allowed to operate, whether or not they're doing enough to protect the health and safety of students and staff.
So what are some of the guidelines the state is offering up?
So some of them talk about masks. They recommend that staff and students wear masks. They've recommended that staff and students are screened for COVID symptoms. They've also recommended training for teachers to recognize some of those symptoms. They also recommend maintaining social distancing, so rearranging classrooms, preventing students from congregating in big lunchrooms to eat, things like that. They've also made recommendations about how to approach things like special education and extracurriculars. So it's pretty wide-reaching and covers a lot of bases. But again, they're really hoping folks use that as a reference point to maybe start forming their local plans based on what works best.
You know, I've read a lot from parents who, on one hand, a lot of them really want to see their kids physically go back to school in August, but they're also really worried about safety. So is there going to be any room in the guidelines for parents to make decisions about what kind of instruction their child receives in the fall?
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the recommendations encourages schools to really look at their remote learning plans and to shape those to make them a little bit more sustainable over long periods of times in case we see a second wave of the outbreak. But they are really leaving it up to locals to decide how they want to work with their parents, because you're right, parents are worried either for the health and safety of their child or the school experience or how they're learning. So there's definitely a lot of room for schools to have some of that flexibility, and Indiana has always been really proud of its education philosophies to give that power to parents, and we are seeing that definitely play out here with some of the consequences for absences even being recommended to be waived.
Okay, we just have under 30 seconds, so one last thing. When do you expect that we'll start to hear what local districts are doing? Because August will be here before you know it.
Yeah, some schools even start at the end of July. So they have about 6 weeks, some of them, to digest all of this. So again, though, it's a really local decision. So it really depends when schools decide they want to bring kids back and how and when they want to communicate with parents.
All right, Jeannie, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, as arts performances and festivals have been called off and venues have shut their doors during COVID-19, artists of all kinds are struggling. According to data collected by Americans for the Arts, nearly 2/3 of artists report having become unemployed since the start of the pandemic. Benta Boutier reports.
Locally, the Buskirk-Chumley is one of many arts venues in Bloomington working to respond to complications created by COVID-19. Its location in the heart of downtown Bloomington gives it prime visibility. Jonah Chrismore stepped into the executive director position at the Buskirk right after the pandemic started.
A lot of my job, especially in those initial, like say the first, 4 to 6 weeks or so, was a lot of juggling, rescheduling, talking to agents, managers, and figuring out kind of what, kind of trying to read the tea leaves as to whether or not, could a show in July possibly happen? Could a show in August possibly happen?
He says adapting to decreased revenue and uncertainty booking shows in the year to come are just a few of the struggles the Buskirk has experienced. Since the pandemic, about 50 events have been canceled or rescheduled at the Buskirk, which is a big hit to revenue.
Right now, it's all about trying to figure out how we can create activity, create opportunities for us to, fulfill our mission within the community. Right, but at the same time, that isn't necessarily going to be live performances.
Like many other places, the theater has turned to virtual events as one way to generate revenue during the pandemic. Although navigating what experiences people are willing to pay for is not always clear, Chris Moore says one upside to virtual events is audience members from all over can participate. He cites an audience for a recent virtual event with psychic medium Jay Lane.
I forget exactly how it broke down, but a great number of them weren't even from Indiana. There was a lot even from Canada who participated in that event.
Chris Moore says another idea moving into summer and fall is holding more outdoor events and working a seating plan for indoor events that would allow for more distance between patrons. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Ben Taboutier.
That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. You can read our latest stories there. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. MALLOR GRODNER attorneys providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Alumni Association connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. Alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.